The book of Nehemiah comes on the heels of the Jews' return to Jerusalem after the Babylonians' exile had ended. But while hundreds of men were rebuilding the wall around Jerusalem and they were guarding against attacks from their enemies, their home life was in jeopardy as well. It was a famine. It had hit so hard that they had to mortgage their land just to get food for their families. Sounds familiar? But the problem was that the nobles and officials lending them the money would charge them a high interest rate, and many of the men had to sell their children into slavery just to pay off the debt. Haven't you ever felt that even when you're doing the work of the Lord, life still happens? Even when you're doing the work of the Lord, life is going to still happen. The enemy couldn't get you in one way, but he sure will find a way in. Just like the enemy couldn't get them one way, but he found a way in. He attacked their families. And that's how the enemy is. If he can't get you one way, he'll get you another. And the key to all that is how you handle the attack, y'all. That's the key to it. Now, Nehemiah, he commands the nobles and the officials to immediately restore the land, the houses, and the interest they took from their poor brethren. He commanded, to which they did agree, promising to restore everything and requiring nothing further from them. Then Nehemiah makes them swear under oath before the priests to fulfill their promise as well. Oh, Nehemiah came on to the rescue. Yep. See, Nehemiah 5:1 says, there was an outcry, and the men and their wives began to share their problems with Nehemiah. They cared enough about their families and their homes to fight on their behalf. They weren't afraid to tell Nehemiah what they needed. They didn't just accept what was going on. They had been putting their time in on the wall for the good of everybody. And surely that had to count for something. So they got up the nerve to tell the truth and ask for what seemed to be the hard thing. Did y'all hear what I said? They got up the nerves to tell the truth and ask for what seemed to be the hard things. He told the truth. And from the result, we can judge that he must have told the truth in love. Nehemiah teaches us that a leader should deal with problems directly. That's what Nehemiah taught us. That if you're a leader, you should deal with the problems directly. In Nehemiah chapter 5, it teaches you humility and financial responsibility and faithfulness. Because at the end of the day, a leader must first lead by example. And Nehemiah could tell others to do what was right because his own walk was right. Did y'all hear what I said? He can go and tell somebody to do right because his walk was right. We all have to get to a place where we stop hiding behind the mask and just tell the truth. If you're hurt, say you're hurt. If you're having a hard time making ends meet, say you're having a hard time making ends meet. Just be honest with yourself and with God. A lot of us have gotten off track and lost our focus. A lot of us. And many of us have lost some of ourselves because we've been pulled in other directions. It's like we lost our zeal. We've lost our peace. And we might have even lost the desire to preserve. At least some of us. But you gotta be honest and tell God what you want. You gotta tell Him your heart's desires. You can't be afraid. You cannot be afraid to tell God your heart desires. Don't be afraid to ask God for the hard things. In James 4:2, it says, you do not have because you do not ask. Did you hear me? James 4:2. You do not have because you do not ask. Please remember that if we're going to get where we need to be, we can't be afraid to ask for it. God wants to bring about restoration in our lives. But we have to have an honest moment with ourselves. And we have to be honest. Then trust God to do what no other power is able to do. Did y'all hear me? So, that's the road to getting back to where He was. The reading will be Nehemiah 4, 5, 6, and 7th chapter. And let that change your life. Let that marinate in your spirit. And then you will come across Nehemiah 5 in verse 11 and 12 where Nehemiah said, you must restore their fields, vineyards, olive groves, and homes to them this very day. And repay the interest you charged when you lent them money, grain, new wine, and olive oil. And they replied, we will give back everything and demand nothing more from the people. We will do as you say. Then I called the priests and made the noble and officials swear to do what they had promised. That's how Nehemiah handled business. Yep. I want to know. Because ain't nobody told me yet. When you feel you're under spiritual attack, how do you handle it? Who do you talk to about it? Because y'all know life happens to all of us. But is there one personal thing that fell through the cracks for you while you were focused on doing something for someone else? Have you ever been in the middle of doing something for somebody else and then you need something? I think we all have. Read Nehemiah 4 through 7th chapter. But before I go, I want y'all to ponder on this. If there was one thing you could ask God to restore for you, personally, and I've asked this before, what would that be and why? If there were one thing you could ask God to restore for you personally, what would that be and why? Your girl want to know. But until we meet again, y'all stay blessed.